Manchester United have received a massive boost in their pursuit of Bayern Munich defender Matthias de Ligt. Chido ObiMartin medical taking place right now at Carrington, and midfield targets revealed. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this afternoon's show. But before we do that, please smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please subscribe to the channel. We just hit 35k subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. If you are new, make sure you get involved. Everyone is welcome. Right, let's start the show off with some positivity then, shall we? Because Fabrizio Romano has confirmed in the last couple of minutes that apparently Chido ObiMartin is doing his medical at Manchester United right now. Really, really excited about this. Obviously, he's still very young. He's only 16 years of age, but he definitely looks like a player for the future. And Fabrizio has said this. He says, I understand that Chido ObiMartin is currently undergoing his medical test as new Manchester United player. He says the official announcement could take some time as the deal will be subject to the Premier League's 5 steps investigation, but all is set to be signed. Exclusive story confirmed. So really, really happy about that. Apparently he's going to be the third choice striker for next season. So it'll be Xerxes, Højlund and Chido ObiMartin. That was partly part of the reason why he joined Manchester United, because he saw his route to the first team as the most likely. There are rival fans who are saying that he only came for the money, but that's been completely debunked. Fabrizio, Sky Sports, multiple journalists have said that Chido ObiMartin had bigger contract offers from clubs in Germany, but he chose Manchester United because he felt like that was his best opportunity to get first-team football, which I would agree with, you know. At Arsenal, as an example, where he was before, in the last 5 years, Mikel Arteta, since he's been there, hasn't brought a single player through from the youth academy to the first team, not one. The last player from the youth academy to become a first-team player at Arsenal was Saka, and that was under Unai Emery. So no wonder Chido ObiMartin is looking at the situation at Arsenal thinking, in 5 years, not one player has broken through. Whereas you look at Manchester United, you've got Toby Collier, Harry Amas, Willy Cambuala, Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho. There's probably some others I've forgotten. Like, that's 5 players there. 2 of which start every single week for Manchester United now, and others are kind of on the brink and on the fence of breaking through. So yeah, really, really happy with the signing. Obviously, he had an amazing season last year for Arsenal's under-18s. He got 30 goals in 18 matches, scoring 7 in one game, and he also scored 10 goals against Liverpool in another game as well. So a very, very talented player, and I honestly think the sky is the limit for him. For me personally, he's one of the generational young strikers coming through in world football at the moment. So hopefully Erik ten Hag and his team can nurture him and bring him to the level that we think he can all reach. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you happy about this signing? It's a free deal. It doesn't cost any money because his contract expired. We will apparently have to pay some sort of level of compensation to Arsenal. I don't know how much that will be. I imagine it will be a couple of million. That's my guess. So yeah, obviously I'll let you know the details on that once we get it. But moving on from that, I want to jump on over to the midfield situation. So obviously we know that Manuel Ugarte deal effectively seems to be off at the moment. And the question I've got for you today is, knowing that Manuel Ugarte is apparently off, that's what's been reported, who would you go for instead? Who should Manchester United sign as the new midfielder? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will give you mine in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to bring you the news first. So Sky Sports are reporting today that apparently Manchester United's targets for the midfield position are Youssouf Fofana from Monaco, Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, Sofian Amrabat from Fiorentina, and Sander Berg from Burnley. Obviously, Manuel Ugarte is still there, but with PSG asking for 60 million euros, the deal is not believable. Now, I'm going to give you my immediate reaction to these 4 players, okay? And I'm going to tell you how much apparently the clubs are asking for. So, Youssouf Fofana, we're going to do it in euros just so it's consistent. Youssouf Fofana, 25 million euros. Zubimendi has a 60 million euros release clause. Amrabat, apparently they want 15 million euros. And Sander Berg, around 20 million euros. So, Martin Zubimendi is the same price as Ugarte, which I think probably rules him out unless Real Sociedad are willing to sell him for less than the release clause. But I don't know why they would do that, but maybe they would. I don't know. Youssouf Fofana, obviously, he's a relatively easy deal to do. 1 year left on his contract at Monaco, wants to leave the club, refusing to sign a new contract, and Monaco are actively trying to sell him, so that's easy. And then Sofian Amrabat is the same. 1 year left on his contract, wants to leave Fiorentina, available for as little as 15 million. Then the shock name, which I think has caused a bit of hysteria in the fan base today, is Sander Berg. 20 million euros, apparently he's available for, 26 years of age. Obviously has 4 years of Premier League experience, 2 at Sheffield United and 2 at Burnley. And there's a lot of people who seem to be upset about this. I don't know. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think he's a terrible player. I think if he's going to come in and replace a McTominay, I think it makes sense. If he's going to come and replace Eriksen in our squad, it makes sense. If he's going to replace Hannibal in our squad, it makes sense. If he's going to be our big star new midfielder for the next 5 years, 6 years, then it probably doesn't make sense. But football is a squad game and we need numbers in that midfield. And I think that if you could maybe get Sander Berg for 20 million euros and maybe you then go and get Amrabat as well for 15 million euros, 35 million euros combined, like that's not the end of the world. But I think all of those options are relatively good. I think Zubimendi's probably unrealistic, although he would be my preferred option. Like my number one option would be Zubimendi, then it would be Yusuf Fofana, then it would be Amrabat, then it would be Manuel Ugarte fourth, and then Sander Berg last. Like if I had to pick in order of all the players that we're linked to in the midfield position, that's what I would go with. I think Zubimendi's the best one. Yeah, definitely by a long way. I would definitely prefer Zubimendi over Manuel Ugarte without a shadow of a doubt. I don't really rate Manuel Ugarte that much, to be honest. I think from what I've seen of him, he looks all right, but he's not 60 million euros player, I don't think. And we know that we need lots and lots of depth in this squad. So to spend 60 million euros on one player when we probably still need 1, if not 2 centre-backs, we need a right-back, we need 2 midfielders, potentially need another attacking player if Sancho leaves. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, I want you to let me know in the comment section. Obviously, the story earlier on today from Laurie Whitwell at The Athletic was that apparently Manchester United have now made official contact with Burnley over a deal for Sander Berg. So that one might be the one that we end up going for. I'm not going to be like mass hysteria about it because, you know, we complain when they overspend for players. We complain about the debt. We complain about these things. But then when Ineos try and do something a little bit different, we now complain that we're not overspending and we're not... Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be some sort of level of middle ground. You either want Ineos to continue running the club like the Glazers, overpaying for players and getting mugged off in the window, or you want them to try and find opportunities on the market. And people like Amrabat, Sander Berg, Yusuf Fofana, they're all opportunities. Ugarte for 60 million euros is not an opportunity. That's PSG trying to get the money that they gave Sporting Lisbon back for Manuel Ugarte, for a player who spent most of the season on the bench. They just went and signed João Neves, who's a generational player, for the same amount of money that they're asking for Manuel Ugarte. Like, when you read between the lines, you can see why this is a bad deal. And me personally, I don't think Ugarte is worth maybe more than 40 million euros, maybe plus some add-ons. And even then, I think it's questionable. So that's my take on it. But obviously, let me know what you think in the comment section. I always like to see what other Manchester United fans have to say. And then the final story we've got for you is in relation to Matthias de Ligt. So this is positive and this is good. So this is coming out from multiple different people that, and apparently in the last couple of minutes, Bayern Munich have now agreed a deal with Bayern Leverkusen over a deal for Jonathan Tah. There was obviously talks for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that this deal would happen, but now it has apparently been confirmed. It says breakthrough in the negotiations for Jonathan Tah. Bayern Munich and Leverkusen have reached an agreement in principle for the defender. It says the fee is 25 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. It says, however, the transfer is not done yet because it depends on the sale of Matthias de Ligt. Bayern will only finalise the deal with Jonathan Tah once the Dutchman is sold. So the point I'm making here is we've heard for weeks that they want to buy Jonathan Tah. We've heard for weeks that they're negotiating. But at the point of recording this video, they have now agreed a deal with Bayern Leverkusen. He is waiting to come to the club. He's agreed personal terms. But they need to sell Matthias de Ligt in order to fund the transfer. So I think the Matthias de Ligt deal will now speed up massively. We know that Bayern Munich have been asking for 50 million euros plus add-ons. That fee will have to come down now because Manchester United will not pay 50 million euros. That's been widely reported. Manchester United want to pay closer to 40 million euros. So I think a deal will be struck, obviously with Bayern Munich already identifying their replacement in Jonathan Tah. So that's one to be really, really positive about. But hopefully we get a here we go for that like today or tomorrow. We desperately need Matthias de Ligt ahead of the Fulham game next week, like desperately, because otherwise it's going to be Maguire or Lindelof or Johnny Evans, and we can't start our season like that. So I'm confident that this deal will get announced very, very soon. I know it's frustrating, but we have to get behind Ineos. We have to understand that they're trying to change the way that other clubs view Manchester United. For the last decade, we've had this United tax associated with us, where Manchester United come knocking and players add 10, 20 million pounds on top of their value because they see us as stupid. They see us as incapable of doing good business. And I think this window, we've proved that change is happening. Xerxes for 34 million was a good deal. Lenny Yoro for 42 was a good deal. And I think if we do get Ligt for around 40 million, it would be a good deal. So I'm feeling happy about things at the moment. And I know people are like really frustrated about the lack of deals, but for me personally, I would rather that we don't get mugged off in the window and maybe we take some opportunities, whether that's Sander Berg, whether that's Amrabat, whether that's Yusuf Fofana, then us go and spend 60 million euros on Manuel Ugarte, who's clearly not worth that. Otherwise, PSG would be keeping him. But let me know your thoughts on everything in the comment section. I will be back live at 6 o'clock for a longer live show as normal. Please make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.